In the 1980s, Gary Busey loved two things: acting and motorcycles. He was passionate about the feel of the wind in his hair on the open road, until his head hit the street during a horrible crash. What resulted was celebrity near-death experience number 20. This Hollywood rebel had a cause. In 1988, Gary teamed up with fellow actors and bike lovers to help defeat a California proposition that would require motorcycle riders to wear helmets.
Gary Busey was kind of a wild man, bad boy, so riding a motorcycle without a helmet was consistent with who he was.
Gary took advantage of his hard-won political victory by buying a new Harley, a customized 1300cc Heritage Softail. Gene Thomason sold Gary the bike.
Oh, I snapped a picture right before he took off. You can see the Indian arrow, the Indian themes that we had painted for his motorcycle.
I picked up my motorcycle, and I picked it up a Sunday afternoon, December the 4th, 1988, and went east on Washington and realized, wait a minute, I've got to go the other way. Turned around, 45 miles an hour, took the corner at Robertson and Washington. The bike spun up, went over the top, hit my head on the curb, hit my back on the curb, bam, bam, like that. And it split my skull this far, knocked a hole in it.
45 miles an hour, motorcycle rider, no helmet, unless something breaks that fall, going to be fatal probably most of the time.
Thomason saw the whole thing. He ran to the actor's aid. Busey was in bad shape.
When I first came up to the scene, I thought he was dead.
Gene Thomason came across the street to take my gloves off and put them in my head.
The wound on his head, I couldn't see how bad it was because the blood was just puddling up behind it. There's blood everywhere.
When paramedics arrived, they immediately whisked Busey to nearby Cedars-Sinai Medical Center.
And the paramedics put me on code red and blue right to Cedars-Sinai, where Dr. Lauren Hooten did brain surgery for an hour, 2 hours. He told me if I was 3 minutes late, I wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be alive.
He suffered a very severe traumatic brain injury, as well as some bony fractures as well. He had a fracture of the back, the low back, and of the pelvis. But the most devastating injury was the brain injury.
And it was a real hard time, and from then on it started the process of, well, your dad's not going to make it more than 72 hours, and if he does, he'll be a vegetable.
Probably 50% of people who have this kind of injury do die. Only 20% do well, and probably only 10% return to work the way he has.
Gary still has no memory of the 6 weeks he spent in the hospital. He remembered crossing over to another reality.
On the other side, there's no distance, time, or space. I could have been there for 3 days, 3,000 years, or 3 seconds. It's all the same.
Right after being released from the hospital, Busey insisted his views hadn't changed about helmet laws. But a year after facing death, Busey sang a different tune.
I have a 17-year-old son who's an expert motocross dirt bike rider. He's made me very aware of helmets. From ages 16 to 21 or 25, they should be mandatory.
Busey suffered no brain damage from his head injuries, but he's still Hollywood's go-to guy for wild men and offbeat characters.
But the point in life is it's so precious. It's so short on Earth, and it's so sweet.
Good talking to you.